This is David Ironbreaker, video entry number 2 for my rebooted website on how to play the world as a computer game for the protection of everybody. I need to show you how to map the matrix around you so that you can use cannabis to educate your mind based on what dimension of logic it stimulates you. You exist at the cross intersection of 3 planes of existence. There's the flat plane that you stand on the ground. There's the flat plane behind your eyes, which is why both your eyes are facing one direction. And there's a flat plane between hemispheres, which is why your right hemisphere processes your left hand. You exist at the intercept of 3 different phases of existence. These 3 phases then connect to a larger matrix, which looks like it goes out to another 6 more phases. Though I've only got it mapped out to 5, but anyway, we exist in the very center of your being, in the middle of your mind. You exist at 0 dimensions. You exist, point of existence, 0 dimension. From there to the tip of your nose and to the furthest star, 1 dimension, line. Plane beneath your ground, plane behind your eyes, plane between your hemispheres. Planes are 2-dimensional logic. Space, occupy around you, around your avatar, 3-dimensional. Time, from the tip of your nose to the furthest star is only in the past. The only thing that's in the middle of your mind is in the most immediate now. And this is where the mind's eye is, and I'm going to teach you how to use that. Listen. So, time is 4th dimension. Matter is 5th dimension. This is a pack of Ritz crackers. At one point in time, a single Ritz cracker was an idea. That idea had to move through a dimension of communications. That person had to find a way to communicate that idea to someone else. Now, if that audience had any idea what they were talking about, you might use persuasion to instill a attached feeling of some sort so that the person will come into your way of thinking. But in either way, you still have to come up with belief systems, which is the framework. And then you find if you can get someone that will buy into your stuff, you then see the movements of this framework system through matter, through time, to become these objects in space affecting planes, lines, and points of logic. So that's how it runs. But all consciousness is shared ideas. When you discover how the matrix looks, take a piece of paper, and I have a piece of paper. I have a copy of Tumbleweird, which is I live in Richland, Washington, and so it is a local rag that is published, probably on a recycled rag. Anyway, if you take a piece of paper in landscape format, and in front of you, closest to your hands, draw a line across the front on your side, and to your left, write the past and draw a big dot, and to your right, write the future and draw a big dot. So you have a line with 2 dots on it, and then flip it over and draw another line across it. So in your mind, you can see parallel lines. But with your eye, you can only see this one line. Draw a dot in the middle. From here to the 2 dots on the other side, you've just drawn a way of seeing through time and through matter, through belief systems, and through feelings, using communications to move an idea. You are about to evolve. It's not hypnosis. Humans are cyborg. I'm a white-hat computer hacker. And I'm here to deliver the rapture. So when Einstein hanging on a cross is a savior to his own family of fucking moronic idiots who think the Torah is a goddamn religion. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of an intelligent parasite moving in terrifying logic. With 2 commandments and 8 rules, our species is free. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob didn't have a Torah. They had empty hands. Why are we carrying a Torah? Well, Moses' God had a Torah. Abraham Isaac. So why we carry some schmuck had to carry a trap for George Bush to teach how to accurately assess space-time. A trap had to be carried through time. And there are 3 quests in the Torah, 3 different Moses. But first, you have to learn literary criticism. I learned literary criticism from a Jewish professor of mine who got vehemently angry with me. Fuck you! Dr. Orr, fuck you! I was right. When you base an entire civilization on a foundation, you have no idea who wrote it. No idea who wrote it. You are fucking yourself. With 2 commandments and 8 rules to make this next decision. Why should I pray to God? The Marine Corps closer. Marines, do I have your patience? Well, you ever lie, scapegoat, dishonor, torture, steal, overwork, adulterate, or kill? If the answer is yes, why? You have to remember those things. If the answer is no, it's 2 thumbs up. It's approved by your Marine Corps and everybody else, and you go right to the next decision. You make more decisions faster, and diabetes is fuel. There's only the now. Just like the center of a CPU, you got the beginning of the run, the end of the run, and the now. That's why it's the end of days. Duh. And you wanted me to trust the Torah? Fuck you! I got 86 from Washington State University. You fucking assholes! How stupid are you to pick up an alien life form chupa and carry it through time when what we had before the Torah was wiser? The promised land is world peace, not Palestine. Now let me show you what Muhammad is building. Muhammad was born Jewish. He saw the paper of a king. Mecca used down-siphon logistics to wash the division logistics of some other species off of humankind. A Torah divides our species by language, Tower of Babel, by religion, gentility, by gender, Adam's rib, and by social norms, kingdoms and coinage and customs and cubits, all mired in the logic of matter. Look on the back of the U.S. $1 bill, hold it at arm's length with your thumb underneath the ONE. That is not a pyramid, that is a road through time. Those events that happened last are now first, backwards in space-time. To your right, 13 stars in the shape of the Star of David over E pluribus unum, in all one, but divided by the logic of the Torah. Torah's logic's not human. We goof, forgive them, for they know not what they do. In 1833, U.S. President Andrew Jackson closed the second U.S. bank. I don't want these wicked people in my government. They trotted over to Yale, opened Skull and Bones, and instantly U.S. history was attacked virally by a weapon set you only find in 1833, an analysis of how a free man is enslaved by a Torah with so many rules. The rules are the weaponry of the weak. Dr. Orr, fuck you! You should have got off your ass and helped me. I had to do all this by myself. I couldn't get anybody with a brain to think for themselves. I hold Washington State University Tri-Cities responsible for 86ing me from campus as a disabled U.S. citizen born XXY with Klinefelter syndrome. I went to Dr. Dallas Barnes, who didn't help me. He was my disability support. I found something you couldn't find. I have a background in hypnosis and computer logic. I applied internet tools to history. A world map is a calendar year. Humans are data packets. Lies are viruses. Everyone faces forward in space-time. People lie as a time, bad as a team. Bad advice goes to all sides. Wars break out, and in the end, poppy bush opium flows through all hospitals and all war zones. George Bush sold the U.S. national debt to China. There are FEMA camps, 30,000 guillotines, 2 billion coffins. Should Trump upset China and they pull the loans, the barrier between fantasy, logic, and reality gets torn. War breaks out, and these bastards win the game of Armageddon as written. Or wake up, your Marines, and it's game over. I've earned permission to raise the Marines. We need to do this right fucking now. In the game of Armageddon as written, 482 years of always faithful Marines are my flock. I rose to be a good shepherd when wolves in sheep's clothing tried to pull wool over the eyes of Marines by emailing and faxing tools for hypnosis and remote viewing and space-time analysis, as David Brager performing the fictional role of Aquarius, last prophet for Judaism. So look at George Bush. Look at Donald Trump. These are factual roles being performed fictionally. I'm performing a fictional role factually. Who do you trust? That living sack of shit or me? I'm here to deliver tools to raise the quality of life for everybody on the planet. They're sitting in plain sight in the design of the Torah, the Gospels, and the Holy Quran. The best time tools are in the Quran. Muhammad tackled the first of 2 quests in the Gospels. He tackled the second of 3 quests in the Torah. He divides the Red Sea of humankind and finds a world so immersed in chaos that myrrh is only being used as an embalming ointment because death was everywhere. Look what he's done. Myrrh is being used almost exclusively as an incense, enjoyed for what it is, because of Muhammad's work. And if we allow the Holy War to be anything but Muhammad's battle with the son of a bitch that wrote the Torah, and anyone acting like using chaos as weaponry, the war's going to come back. Muhammad is doing battle with the author of the Torah. Get rid of the goddamn thing. Islam follows Abraham. Muhammad's a true prophet. The author of the Torah is a false prophet. This is just a fair family fight. The family of David versus the burning bush. Torah's computer game design is written from the basis science of man. You got 4 books of rules. Half of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. You have the player's guide, like Dungeons & Dragons, Genesis. And you have the game through the lives of 3 different Moses. One fished out of the Nile, one that divides the Red Sea, and one that unites the Red Sea. These are 3 quests. But you completely overlook the 4th player, which is the author of the Torah. The author of the Torah is the enemy. I have to introduce you to an alien intellect. This is the Holy Ghost. This son of a bitch is playfully mean, but it drives your imagination. That's how Einstein's special theory of relativity turned up in literature. In that thing that you built on your piece of paper. The little dot in your head is your mind looking at all of space-time. Now, from that point back into the past, look at every movie and story of the book and put the dot of the original idea for the playwright or whoever, wherever they were based, and then look at the same coordinated space-time and apply an opaque of their imagination of the movie over this 1,300 more, 2,000 whatever year framework of time. If you see something in 3 movies that looks similar to what's happening in the news right now, figure out who can rebuild the barrier between fantasy and reality and send them to my article, tinyurl.com/upgrading patriotism and read. You'll find how to find a 42-point puzzle in the design of the Gospel of Matthew, the tools I found, how to use them, my hack of history, and all work today to counteract the game of Armageddon as written. I build games using hypnosis instead of graphics. Terror Majors do the same thing. Nobody told the Marine Corps, so I got pissed because I learned hypnosis from a U.S. Army Air Corps warrant officer supply pilot. If Charlie Brewer had lived to see Terror Meters, he'd be here doing this, but he's pushing up daisies right now. If you can do fishes and loaves and raising the dead without electricity, that's matter rearranging technology. They can't risk the good stuff to fall into bad hands, so they trap themselves the most wicked, and time passed. When I applied internet tools to history and found things consistent with technology, I went, oh shit. But by going to the U.S. Department of Justice, going to the FBI, going to the Secret Service, going to the Marine Corps, I went to them first and said, this is what I want to do. And they didn't say stop. They had an opportunity to, but they didn't. They did say, are you going to take up a weapon and do... No, I'm going to build you this case. You can't protect me. You can't protect yourselves if you don't see the enemy. I did this so that you see who the enemy are. And that's all the work I'm doing here. I am just fulfilling prophecy as needed to prove that Muhammad, for all time, is the greatest, absolute greatest prophet of all time. Because he took the tools that a guy hanging on a cross brought to him and upgraded them and built an antivirus to the Torah, but he set this intercept. Everything is to change on the day that Jesus does battle with the devil at the stone. Well, Jesus and Christ are titles, and they have to be earned. So I contacted the Greek embassy in Washington, D.C. on the 18th of December, 2007, when that star went supernova, and everyone went, oh, look, that like the star in the Jesus story. No, that was the star in the Jesus story. The work had all been laid out. He's doing a PhD experiment that I assembled using the internet so that he gets all the credit and Muhammad gets all the credit and I just get credit for having run the performance of Aquarius. And then I'm going to put this to bed and then I want to go out. I sent a thing to the American Idol people. We'll see what happens there. But I was allowed to join the Dramatists Guild of America due to parodies. If I could find a real composer, I wouldn't be doing parodies. So this is, to all our service vets out there, may God bless our American pride.